Okay, so let's start the session. In the last class, we are discussing about the pandas. We have introduced you to the pandas and NumPy. So we have completed NumPy. Within the pandas, I have explained what is meant by series and what is data frame. Where a series is with respect to one-dimensional and a data frame is a two-dimensional. And how to create a data frames. How to create with respect to a series. You can create a series or a data frame by using list, NumPy array, or by using dictionary. So by using these three of them, we can create the series or data frames. And we also discussed in the last class how to concat or how to combine the data frames, how to combine the multiple data frames, how to combine multiple data frames. That is option number 1 is called as append, concat, and the third one is merge. So when we are going to use merge means when we are having at least one common feature or common column name in the both of them, then only we are going to use the merge function. Otherwise, we are not going to use the merge function. Concat is common, where we want to concat as we can horizontal concat and vertical concat. So by vertical concat, just like a similar kind of H stack and V stack in the NumPy array, right? Now these are the things which we have discussed in the last class. And next, we are discussing about the how to load a data frame. So how to load a data. For example, there is a data of Excel file, some Excel file or CSV file. We are having a data. So how to load a data, right? We are having for that multiple options are available. Okay, out of which option number 1. Option number 1 is here. For example, there is an Excel file. Some Excel file is there. So let me create one Excel file. In front of you, I'm creating one Excel file. Randomly, I'm creating one Excel file. Just I'm clicking on the new and I'm opening an Excel worksheet. Inside this, I'm filling some values. So here, I'm going to give with respect to some kind of values like 1. In the second column, I'm giving the value 2. In the third row, 3. And in the fourth row, 4. Something. Right? And I'm going to click on this save as workbook. And I'm going to save this one as name it as some example. Okay. Where I'm going to save this one as an example. Okay, fine. Where I'm going to save, just you can select wherever you are interested. For example, this was saved on the desktop. So what I'm going to do is this I'm copying somewhere, wherever you are interested, you can copy. What I'm going to do is I'm copying in the D drive. Within the D drive SRK, within the SRK datasets, within the datasets, I'm going to copy this one, paste here. Now this file was available. Where it is available? Within the D drive, within the SRK folder, within that datasets folder. So this is the folder where example file is available. Now this path, whatever the path we are having, this path, just you can copy the path like this. Whatever the path we are having here, just click on the copy. And you can right click on this and just you can copy the path, whatever the path you are having. And whatever the path you are having, just open the pandas. In the pandas, just we have to use the first one called as read Excel. We have to use the function called as read_Excel. Whenever you want to read an Excel file, you have to click on the td.read_Excel, read_Excel, and you have to give the path. Okay, within the inverted commas. So you have to write the entire path, whatever the path you have taken, the entire path we have to write here. Okay. So this is the path. Just I'm going to right click and I'm going to paste here. Now, when you are pasting like this path, whatever the path is there, you have to use double backslash, not with respect to 1. You have to use double. That is the syntax. That is the syntax for the pandas. What is the syntax means? Double backslash, not with respect to a single backslash. So every time it is getting difficult. So just here, what I'm going to do is double backslash, one more. And this is also one more. This is the path in the D SRK within the data sets. Now double backslash, now file name, whatever the file name you have saved, right? The file name also will be there, right? What is the file name? File name is example. So you have to open the example. This is the file name. What is this extension? The extension, just you have to see with respect to the extension, whether what is the extension is .xlsx. This is the extension. So this same thing we have to write here. That is example .xlsx. including the extension, including the complete extension, you have to write that too within inverted commas only. Now it is going to load. Is that clear? Just now the path, whatever the path we are having, just we can take the entire path. We have to write the entire path within the double backslash. Option number one. What is the option number one we are having is the option number one is write the path along with your file name with extension is your option number one. Okay. Path, you have to write the path, whatever the D drive within that, whatever the folder name within that, this one, you have to use double backslash. Okay. And along with your file name, path plus your file name with extension, everything should be within the inverted commas. This is option number one. Now, what is the option number two, which we are having? Similarly, CSV file also same way. CSV file, whatever the CSV file we are having. So for example, let us take like this. I am having a CSV file, one of the CSV file in my D drive. Within that NIT, within that Python for data science, there is a CSV file. This is a CSV file, liver.csv. This file is available within the D drive. Within the D drive, NIT, within that 02 Python for data science, whatever the folder name, Python for data science. And within that liver.csv. Just if you right click on this and if you see the extension, what is the extension means? It is a CSV file, right? So you have to use CSV, these two in the inverted commas. Now, whatever the drive, whatever the folder it is there in the entire your PC, it is going to open there, right? That is not a problem. So here just it is going to open first D drive, within the D drive NIT, within that 2 for data science, within that liver.csv file will be loaded. Is that clear? So what is the difference between the CSV file and Excel file? Last class we have discussed, right? So whenever you want to read an Excel file, we have to use read_Excel is the function. To read the Excel file, to read Excel files, we have to use read_Excel. If you want to read the CSV files, we have to use read_CSV. We have to use read_CSV, right? This is option number one. Second option, if it is directly available in your working directory, if the file is already in your working directory, for example, means what is meant by working directory? So this, when your data set is in your working directory, means your Python file and data set are in the same folder. For example, let us take like this. In my case, whatever the Python file is there, this is my Python file. Pandas.ipnb file, which I'm working as of now. This is my Python file. And this is my CSV file. These both of them are in the same folder. If both of them are in the same folder, in that case, if both of them are in the same folder, in this case, you don't need to write the extension. Directly, you can write the file name only. You don't need to take the path. You don't need to write the path. Just you have to write the file name along with the extension. Just like this, simple. Right? So pd.read_Excel revert.this one. So it is easily working. Why it is working? Because both of them are in the same folder. If both of them are in the same folder, the syntax is just you have to write the file name along with the extension within the inverted commas. That is the syntax. Syntax means rule, right? So inverted commas, just write the file name, whatever the file name, along with the extension. And extension should be proper. For example, Excel files, you are having your Excel files of 2003. Okay, Excel file is of 2003 version. It will have only XLS. From 2007 onwards, we are having with respect to XLXX. Before 2007, that is 2003 versions of Microsoft Office. If you are using Excel files related to that, it will have only the extension of this one. Sir, whether it is a 2003 or 2007, in what format they have saved, how we can know, miss? Just you have to right click on that. On the file name, just if you right click, you can see the extension clearly. Okay, whatever the file is there, just right click on that and click on the properties. Automatically here you can see with respect to whatever the extension it is having. If it is having only XLS, means it is a 2003 version. From 2007 onwards, it is SLXX. Is that clear? Now, just we are going to load the data. Once we load the data, similarly CSV file also same way, right? pd.read_CSV, pd.read_Excel, right? Now, once we have loaded, now I'm going to save this one. Whatever the Excel file or CSV file I have loaded, that I'm going to save in the DF. I'm going to name it as DF. In the DF means it is going to create one object. Same to same, like how the list, how a tuple or how a set or dictionary or with respect to NumPy array, everything has created the object. In the similar way, Pandas object will be created. a pandas object will be created, and for that object it is going to write the name called as df. This is the variable name, right? Now in that df dot head function dot head means it is going to give the first 5 records. It is going to give the first 5 records by default. Df dot head gives you the first 5 records. Okay, for example, you have taken only df of head of 2. You have written 2 means it is going to take first 2 records. Head means first. Head means first. Head is equal to first. Okay, if you have written only 2 means it is going to give the first 2 records. If you have given with respect to head of 2, it is the meaning of first 2 records. Head of 3, first 3 records. Head of 5 means first 5 records. For 5 records, you don't need to write anything, but because that is a default value for this function, that is a default parameter. So there is a default parameter inside this function. That function is with respect to n is equal to, n means whatever the number of records you want to get printed. It should be in the int format only. It is going to return the first n rows. It is going to return the first n rows. By default, if you don't write, it is going to take 5. By default 5. So where we are going to use this head function? Generally, when we load the data, here the data set is of just 10 records. So all the 10 records it is displaying. But generally, for example, if you are having a data frame of 500 records are there, approximately 500 records are there. Example, in real life, we'll have at least 1 lakh records. Okay, so 1 lakh records or 10,000 records or 25,000 records, like that, right? So for example, you are having 500 records are there. Now, whenever you are taking this one data frame pd.read_csv, and you have read your file, whatever the file is there, you have read. And once this is completed, and if you print in the next line, print df, what it is going to print means first 5 records. It will print generally first 5 records, and dot. It is going to keep some dots, and last 5 records it is going to print. For example, 500 records are there. Only 10 records it is going to display. First 5 records and last 5 records. It is not going to display all the 500 records. If display also, there is no use for us. If it is displaying all the 500 records also, there is no use. Our requirement is whether we have loaded a correct data set or a wrong data set. That is the thing which we want. So for example, I'm taking the liver.csv file. Now, whatever the liver.csv file I'm loading, whether I have loaded a correct data set or a wrong data set, how I can see means just by writing df.head. We are not going to print the entire df. We are going to just print the df.head. What is the use of head function means just to check whether you have loaded a correct record or correct data set or not. That's it. Right? In the real life, first we'll write this one. First we'll load the data. Immediately second line we are going to write df.head to check whether we have loaded a correct data set or not. That's it. Right? Now, similarly, we are having the tail. Tail gives you the last 5 records. Head means first, tail means last. It is going to print the last 5 records. Right? Now, df.shape. So data frame is a 2-dimensional. So 2-dimensional means what it is going to print? Shape means with respect to number of rows and number of columns. Here the number of rows, how many number of rows are there? 10 rows. And how many columns? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 columns. 10, 6. It is going to print in this way. It is going to return the 10, 6. Is that clear? So just it is going to return 10, 6 because it is a 2-dimensional array. The first one indicates the number of rows. The second one indicates the number of columns. 10, 6. 10 rows with 6 columns. Next, df.size. What is meant by size means total number of values. Size is equal to total number of values. Total number of values in the data frame. That is nothing but whatever the shape you are having, number of rows into number of columns. That is 10 into 6, which is 60 values are available. In your data set, total 60 values are there. That is 10 into 6, 60 values. So it is going to give you the df.size 10, 6 means 10 into 6, 60 values. Right? Now, df.keys, how to check the column names, how to extract the column names means we are having 2 options for that, out of which the first one is called as df.columns. The first one is called as df.columns, gives you the column names, all the column names. It is going to print you all the column names. Right? It is going to print the column names, whatever the column names you are having, age, gender, TB, DB, TP, and liver patient. And second option is df.keys. Keys, why keys it is going to work? Because Pandas was designed based on the dictionary. In the dictionary, whatever the keys are there, same concept. If you want in a dictionary, dict.keys. Right? In the dictionary, we have extracted the key names like by using dict.keys. Here the keys, whatever in the data frame, the keys are converted as a column names. In the last class, I have told you the keys, whatever the keys are there, whenever you are creating using a dictionary, whenever you are creating a data frame using a dictionary, this column, whatever the column name is there, these keys will be considered as your column names. Both are same. Keys and column names are both are same. So df dot keys gives you the column names. Similarly, df dot columns also gives you the column names. Both of them gives you the column names, either that or this, both of them. Okay. Which one is easy one, sir, or which one we have to remember in the real life means, which are you feel easy, that is the easiest one. I mean, that is the best one. Okay. So both of them gives the same answer, whether you are using df dot keys or whether you are using df dot columns, both will give the same. Now here, the most important point is we have to observe the, whatever the column names are there, they are as per the variable name or not. Variable name rules, whatever we have discussed, it is as per that or not. If it is not as per that, for example, let us take one of the column is having total sales and dollar symbol is there like this, something, or millions of dollar or thousands of dollar. They have taken in terms of thousands of dollar. They have written in the bracket like this. Now this type of thing is not applicable as the variable name. So variable name we can't use like this, means as data frame in the column names also we can't use this one. So in that case, what we have to do means we have to rename them. For example, here if you observe, age is okay, gender okay, TB okay, DB okay, TP okay. Liver patient, where we are having the space. Variable name cannot have the space. So what we are going to do, this I'm going to convert. I'm going to rename. df dot rename is the function where I'm going to rename the columns from liver patient to liver patient in this way. This is the old one, old name, and this is the new name. That is the syntax which we have to write. If you are having multiple columns, instead of one column, if you are having multiple columns, just take the comma and whichever the column you want to convert, change that. That is second one. If I want to change the TP to like some kind of TP. Okay, if you are interested in this way, like this, you are going to take in the write the columns in the dictionary and take the key with respect to the key name. Key name should be your old column name, and this one should be your new column name. Is that clear? Like this, you can take multiple columns. You can replace multiple column names at a time. You can replace one column name or you can replace multiple columns at a time. Now, whenever you are renaming, so here see, you have renamed this one, you have renamed this one. Now, whenever you have renamed, now if you print your original data frame, I'm printing my original data frame. Now, if you print your original data frame, it is not getting stored. Okay. Again, the old values are there. Sir, why it is not getting stored? Because you have not saved this one. You have to save this by using some name. Whenever you are using this assignment operator, then only it is going to be saved. Otherwise, it will not save. Okay. So here, if you observe here in the old, if you print the data frame, again the old values it is appearing. Sir, why here it is changed, sir? Because in the Jupyter notebook, the last line automatically prints, right? So here it is just printing. This is equal to print. It is just printing. It is not saving. That too, this is in the last line, so it is printing. For example, this is not in the last line. For example, after this, you have taken A is equal to 20, B is equal to 40. Something you have written like this. Now this one also not even printed. The first line is not printing, right? First line will not be printed, right? So by default, only the last line will be printed. So here it is, since it is in the last line, that is single line it is there, and that too it is a last line. So that is the reason it is getting printed, but it is not saving that one. So if you want to save this, you have to use with respect to then like this, right? Assignment operator, and you have to create the variable name. Now, so I'm writing df dot rename columns is equal to, I'm just replacing the liver patient to liver patient like this, and I'm going to replace in the original one. Okay, in the original one, it is getting replaced. Is that clear? Now, next we are having the df dot dtypes. Next one is dtypes. We have seen first one is called as shape. Second one is called as size. Third one is called as columns. Fourth one is called as now dtypes. This is the dtypes. What is meant by dtypes? Dtypes means data type. Data type. What is the type of that particular column? Here we are having total 6 columns are there. If you observe, these are the total 6 columns. Column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Total 6 columns we are having. Out of 6 columns, column number 1 belongs to which data type? Column number 2 belongs to which data type? Like this we are having. Now, what are the data types we are having? Miss, the data types we are having is, this is one of the most important, and you have to take the notes. Okay, data. We are having different types of data, right? What are the different types of data? Data is nothing but with respect to variables. We are having different types of variables. Sir, what is meant by variables? Variables are nothing but your column names. Whatever the column names are there, generally we'll call them as, in Excel, we'll call them as column names. In the Excel sheet or in the CSV file, generally we'll call them as column names. The same thing in statistics. In statistics, they are called as variables. In ML or DL, I mean artificial intelligence, they are called as futures. Everything are same. Column names, variables, and futures, everything are same. Just in the statistics, we are calling as that one as variables. In artificial intelligence or ML or data science, we'll call them as futures. Everything are same. Okay. Now we are having different types of variables are there. What are the different types of variables we are having? Miss? Basically, we are having 3 different types of variables. Basically, we are having 3 different types of variables. Okay. So out of these 3 different types of variables, the first type of variable, whatever the first type of variable we are having is called as continuous. The first one is called as continuous. Second one is called as discrete. And the third one is called as time series. Okay. Continuous, discrete, and time series. Okay. Basically, this time series is not considered as a variable. Basically, we are having with respect to different types of data. Okay. Out of the data, we are having different types of data, out of which the first type of data is called as structured data. Structured data means which is in the tabular format. Whichever is in the tabular format, it is called as structured data. Second one we are having is unstructured data. Unstructured data. Unstructured data means no proper format. No proper format. Whichever the data is not having any kind of proper format, it is considered as unstructured. Which is having a proper format, that is considered as structured. Sir, what is meant by format? Proper format. What is the meaning of that? For example, let us take like this. Age of the particular students. Every student is there, and every student name, age, whatever the age is there, I'm going to fill in this column only. All the ages will be in this column only. All the student names will be in this column only. All the students' education will be in this column only. So they are having a proper structure, right? Whereas unstructured data, for example, text data is there. Text data like your maze. Is there anything mandatory that, for example, you are sending any doubt to me? Yeah, some students will write good morning. Some students will write good morning, sir. They will write good morning, sir, and they will write the whatever the doubt they are having. Some people end with thank you. Some people will not end with thank you. There is any rule is there that we have to write good morning compulsory? For example, you are a real-time professionals. In the real-time professionals, we used to not call as sir. Okay, as student and we are discussing in the class. So you are as a student, you are calling me as a sir. But in the professional, in the real-time professional, if already experienced persons are there, they simply call as SRK. Hey, SRK, simple. They will not even keep the sir word. There is no proper format for that. If you are not having any proper format, then it is considered as unstructured data. For example, images are there. Passport size. If I ask the students to give me the passport size photo, is that every student will give in the background of white color only? Or every student will give blue color only? Or every student will give with respect to black color only in the background? No, there is no proper format for that. And is there any rule that passport size photo means the students should wear the coat, and with respect to whatever the blazer is there, they have to wear this one and they have to take the photo? Is there rule? Is there like that? No. So wherever there is no rules are applicable, no rules or no proper format is there, then it is considered as unstructured data. Text data, images, all this comes under your audio, your videos, all this comes under wherever there is no rules are applicable. You can take anything as per your choice. No rule is there for that. But whereas structured data, age is there means inside this only age should be there. Phone number column is there means in this column only 4 numbers should be there. That column, in that column only 4 numbers you have to write. You can't write the phone number in another column. You have to write in that column only. Rule is there. That is rule. You have to write in that column only. Then it is called as structured data. If there is a rule and there is a proper format is available, it is called as structured data. In the interview, if they ask you what is structured data and unstructured data, some people will say structured data means tabular data, right? Basically, tabular data is one of the thing, but basically you have to say proper format, which is having a proper format is called as structured. For example, here, chairs are there. Friend, we are having per row 4 chairs like this, left side and similarly right side, right? For example, one of the student is coming and he's keeping one of the chairs side like this. A new chair he's adding. Is there any proper format for that? No, it is unstructured. If chairs are fixed, you can't add any new chair. Everything are in the format. Once they are fixed means they are locked. We can't change that one. Then the chairs, whatever the system is there, that is called as structure. Like for example, if you go a PVR, okay, PVR theater, the chairs, we can't add a new chair, right? We can't bring our own chair and we can't sit there, right? But the same thing in the rural areas, in the cinema theaters, first day, first show means they'll bring the chairs also. Okay, that theaters we can't consider as the structure data, right? So where there is a proper structure is available, that structure is called structured data. If there is no proper structure, it is called as unstructured data. Now, this structured data, unstructured data, and third one is called as time series data. Time series data. What is meant by time series data means where there is a dependency on the time. The data is depending on the time. Okay. So example, like if you consider the traffic at Amirpet or in SR Nagar, it is getting dependent on the time. For example, you will get a job or not. That is not dependent on the time. If the data is getting dependent on time, it is called as time series data. If the data don't depends on the time, then it is called as cross-sectional data. If the data doesn't depends on the time, then it is called as cross-sectional data. If the data depends on the time, then it is called as time series data. Okay, time series data means if it is depending on the time, right? Now, we are having within the cross-sectional data. Now we are discussing the cross-sectional with structured. This is the one which we are discussing as of now. Once structured data is completed, we'll move on to the unstructured. Once unstructured is also completed, we'll move on to the time series. Okay. Now, first, let us complete the structured data. Structured data will take almost 1.5 months, 1.5 months to 2 months in between. And once structured data is completed, unstructured data. Unstructured data means where we are going to work on the text data and images data, videos data, audios data, everything. And then time series data, right? Now, let us go with the structured data, that to cross-sectional data. The cross-sectional data, whatever the cross-sectional data is there, cross-sectional data means it is not getting dependent on the time. The cross-sectional data is divided into continuous and discrete. And within the discrete, again, we are having two. One is called as categorical and one is called as count. Discrete categorical and discrete count. And within the categorical, again, it is subdivided into two. One is nominal and one is ordinal. Right? So your cross-sectional data was divided into structure, variables, whatever the variables. In the cross-sectional data, whatever the variables are there, for the cross-sectional data, the variables are subdivided into continuous and discrete. Within the discrete, categorical and count, and within the categorical, nominal and ordinal. Now, what is meant by this? Now, continuous. What is meant by continuous? Continuous means which is having a decimal format. Which data can have the decimal? Which data can have the decimal? That particular variable is considered as continuous. Which data can have? Whichever the data can have the decimal values, everything comes under continuous. Example, weight. You are having with respect to 64.8, 62.9, 54.10, 1, right? 54, only 54 also possible, 54.1 also possible, wherever the decimal is possible. Similarly, mileage. Second example is mileage. Mileage of a car. Okay. And if you come with respect to next examples like height, CGPA, all this comes under with respect to continuous variable. And this is first one. Within the continuous variable, how to identify the continuous variable means rule number 1 is whichever the data can have the decimal, whichever the data can have data that can have decimal, that can have decimal values. Okay, which can have the decimal values. Second, the data where we can work on the continuous means with respect to by considering a set. Okay, by considering a set of values. By considering a set of values only to have the meaning. For example, in this class, the student's age is there. Okay, let us assume the age is 16, 14, 21, 24, 22, 22, 21, 22, 23, 24, something I'm having like this. 16 and 14 are not there, right? Okay, let us remove. This one also will write 22, 21, something. Okay, so we are having the students like this. Now, In this class, how many students are with age 21? How many students are aged with 22? How many students are aged with 23? How many students are aged with 24? If you are calculating for single value, and for if you are getting some information for single values, then it is considered as discrete variable. If you can take a combination, a frequency of values, means with respect to a set of values. In this class, how many students are from age with respect to 10 to 20? How many students are from 10 to 20? From 20 to 30? How many students are from 20 to 30? 30 to 40, 40 to 50. Now this, if you can able to get the information in this way, that is considered as a continuous variable. Is that clear? Next, coming to the next one is called as discrete. Discrete means single, separate, something like this, right? Within the discrete, we are having the discrete count. What is meant by discrete count? Count means where no decimal. It cannot have the decimal values. No decimal is possible for that. For example, number of mobile phones. Number of mobile phones is the column name. Either 0 mobile, 1 mobile, 2 mobiles, or 3 mobiles, or 4 mobiles. 1.1 mobile is not possible. Never it is possible. Just it is going to count. Just it is going to count. Okay. So count means where it is the number of count with respect to number of mobiles or number of pets or number of cars. Just it is a count. Okay. Number of gears in a car. Right. All these count. Just they are going to count. Okay. Where there is no decimal is possible. How many number of laptops or how many number of mobile phones? Okay. Right. So this all comes under count. This is also in the numerical format only. This is also in the numerical format only. Both of them are in the numerical format only. But where this is can have the decimal, it cannot have the decimal. For that, we cannot have the decimal values. And next one is categorical, discrete categorical. What is meant by discrete categorical means text data. Text data is called as discrete categorical. Every text data is called as discrete categorical. Each and every text data is called as discrete categorical. Out of discrete categorical, we are having nominal and ordinal. Now, what is meant by nominal? Nominal means there is no natural sequence. No natural sequence. Then that data is called as nominal data. If there is a natural sequence, then it is called as ordinal data. For example, let us take like this. There is a column called as gender, where male, female, male, female, male, male, female, female, something you are having like this. Now in this column, you are having two values, that is one is male and one is female. Now this is very clear that male means it is English and which is in the text. So it is called as discrete categorical. Now within the discrete categorical, whether it is a nominal or ordinal means, now is there any natural sequence means males are greater than females or females are greater than males? There is no natural sequence. That depends upon their perspective only. Males generally feel that we are great when compared to females. Females will feel that we are greater than males, right? They're from their perspective only. But there is no natural sequence between them. Natural sequence is not available between them. So then it is considered as nominal data. If there is a natural sequence, then it is considered as ordinal data. Example of nominal data is male and female. This is one of the example. Second example, color. Example number 2 is color. Colors: blue color, black color, red color, white color, red, pink, purple, yellow, something you are having like this. Now, is there any natural sequence between them? Whatever the categories we are having inside that, is there any natural sequence? That the blue color is better than the black color or black color is better than the red color. There is no natural sequence between them. Between the categories, there is no natural sequence. Then it comes under nominal. Now, example of ordinal. For example, let us take like this. For ordinal data, we are having a column called as size. Low size, low, medium, high. Right? Where low is lower than middle, middle is lower than the high. Everyone knows, right? There is a natural sequence between them. The words indicates that they are not natural sequence between them. That low size means it is comparatively, it is having very less size. Medium means it is having medium size, less or medium or large size. For example, shirt sizes are there. Let us take shirt size. We are having small, medium, large, XL, double XL. Automatically, there is a natural sequence, right? Whenever you see a column name, one variable name called as shirt size, automatically the shirt size comes under ordinal data. Everything is not equal, right? There is a natural sequence between them. You not created, I have not created that one. Or for you, it is not different, and for me, it is not different. From perspective to perspective, from person to person, it is not going to change. The order is going to remain constant. For everyone, the order is going to remain constant. Then it is called as ordinal data. Is that clear? Now, so these are the different types of data, right? So whatever the variables we are having, the variables, wherever we are not having any kind of time series dependent. For example, let us take an example like this. So whatever the liver patient data set we are working. Okay, here, this is a liver patient data. So we are having with respect to here liver patient is there either yes or no something, and TP, DB, all these things are there. Is there any time series variable in this? Time variable. Is there anything time variable like in this is Sunday, Monday, something like that? No. This is morning 10 o'clock and morning 11 o'clock. Is there anything time like that? Day wise, it is not there. Year, day, date. This all comes under time series. Month. Right? If they have written some kind of this is January, this is February, this is March, then it is considered as time series data. If the time variable is not available, then it is considered as cross-sectional data. This is an example of cross-sectional data. Cross-sectional data means where it is not having any time series dependency. For example, the same data set I'm considering with respect to some kind of data set, traffic data set. Okay, traffic. Whatever the traffic I'm having on this particular day, on January 1st, traffic. Okay, number of vehicles. Okay, on January 2nd, the number of vehicles at SR Nagar Junction. What are the SR Nagar signals are there? Near the SR Nagar signals, what are the number of vehicles passed on the January 1st, on January 2nd, on January 3rd, on January 4th. If you're having this one, dependency is there on the time. The number of vehicles are depending on the time. Or if you take with respect to the traffic at time 8 o'clock, time at 9 o'clock. For example, if you want to predict that what would be the traffic at 2 p.m., afternoon 2 p.m., the prediction of time at 2 p.m., the traffic and the prediction is going to be different at 6 p.m. Here, both the predictions will not be the same. Here, the time is important for us. At what time they are asking to predict, the time is more important for us. If the time variable makes an importance, then it is called as time series data. If the time series doesn't make any importance, then it is called as cross-sectional data. For example, let us take like this. One more example where you are going to apply for a loan. Whether the loan is going to be approved or rejected. For example, you are applying on Monday means your loan will be approved. If you are applying on Tuesday means your loan will be rejected. Is there any rule like that? Or any relation is there with respect to the time? So if there is no relation, then it is called as time series. Sorry, no relation means it is called as cross-sectional data. If it is having the relation means it is called as time series data, right? Next, here, what are the data types we are having is, first one is called as continuous. Second one is called as discrete, category, count. These both of them will be in the numerical format only. Both of them will be available in the numerical format. Third one is discrete, categorical. Total 3 we are having. This will be in the text format. This will be in the text format. Continuous and discrete count both will be in the numerical format, right? Now, here, whatever the data set we are having, this is the data set. That is age, gender, TB, DB, TP, and liver patient. Where I'm asking df.dtypes. Dtypes means it is going to print me each of them. For example, here, first column, it is going to take first column. In the first column, there is no decimal value. Everything are in the numerical format with no decimal. So it is considered as int. Okay. In this particular column, everything are in the text. So it is considered as object. Whichever is in the text, it is considered as object in Pandas. All the text, at least one of them is in the text also, it will convert as object only. Sir, for example, here I'm having 4, 5 male, and remaining all are numbers, sir. Only one value is in the male. Still, it will show as the object, right? A numerical data without decimal. If there is no decimal, it will show as int in Pandas. If there is a numeric with decimal, without decimal means int, numeric with decimal. If you are having with decimal means it is going to show as float. It will display as float. So you can see here the first column. Whatever the first column is there, this first column is not having any kind of decimal value. So it is showing as int. Second one is in the text, so it is showing as object. This column is having with decimal float. This is also having decimal float, and this is also having decimal float. And this is again text, so it will display as object. It will show as object. Okay. Now the question is, whatever the object are there, purely it is called as categorical. Blindly it is called as categorical. So no problem with that. So wherever the object is there, then it is called as categorical. Discrete categorical. Wherever the object is there, it is called as discrete categorical. Wherever the float is there, it is called as continuous. It is clear, very clear. But wherever the int word is there, that one you have to check clearly. It can be either a discrete count. Int can be either a discrete count. The int can be either with respect to continuous also. Both the options is possible. Sir, how it will be continuous, sir? You told continuous means automatically decimal value should be there, right? That is one of the rules. Second rule is, what is the second rule? With respect, for example, here age is there. Age in your data set, they have, for example, mileage of a car is there. Generally, mileage of a car, everyone knows 16.2, 14.3, 8.1, something will be there. Okay. Now, for example, I'm having only in my data set 16, 17, 18, 16, 14, 12, 17, 22, 23, 19, like this. I'm having a data set. Means mileage of a car cannot have the decimal values. Huh? Can have a yes or no. In your data set, it is not available. In your data set, it is not available. Here, we should not fix based on the data set. We should fix based on the name of the variable. First, you have to see what is the name of the variable, and you have to understand the name of the variable. What is meant by mileage? What is the meaning of mileage? Generally, what would be the range of mileage? A minimum car can have what is the minimum mileage and what is the maximum mileage. For example, any car can have a mileage of 60 kilometers per hour. I mean, 60 kilometers per liter. Is that possible? For example, in my data set is one of the record is 60 is there. Then what I have to do? We have to modify that one. We have to clean the data. Instead of entering 6, they have might enter 60. Maybe data entry mistake. Maybe. We don't know exactly. That we have to see in the further. Okay, that I will explain in the further classes. How to clean the data that we are going to see in the further classes. So before cleaning the data or before proceeding to the forward, first we have to observe the data. Each variable name we have to understand very clearly, which is also called as data understanding. In data science, we are having a stage called as data understanding. Data understanding means understanding each and every variable very clearly is your first step. Okay. So in a data science project, so just so whatever the data science project, generally the data science project will consist of 6 stages. The first stage is called as business problem understanding. Second stage is called as data understanding, data pre-processing, modeling, evaluation, and presentation. These are the 6 steps which generally a data science project will have. Out of which we are here in this. Business problem is based on the project to project you will understand. In the further, we are going to do 20 plus projects. For 20 projects, 20 business problems you are going to understand. Automatically, you'll understand the business problem. That depends upon the project. But data understanding, what is meant by data understanding means first step, understand each and every variable clearly. Okay. For example, here in this data set, let us go to this data set. First column name is called as age. Age means age of the person. Okay. Second one is gender. Gender means with respect to either female or male or transgender. In your data set, whether transgender is available or not, that you have to check. Only males are there, only females are there, or if what are the different categories are there, that you have to check. And next one is TB. TB means total bilirubin. TB means total bilirubin. DB. DB means direct bilirubin. TP. TP means total protein. Liver patient, whether the person is having a liver problem or not, yes or no. This is the data set. Okay. Sir, you told that TB full form total bilirubin. How I can know, sir? You are saying as you are explaining like that. Okay, but how you can know means your data engineering team, whoever has collected this data, some person has collected this data, right? You only have collected means you only have to see this what is meant by TB full form. For example, your data engineering team has collected the data. They are going to share you the details. So how you are going to get a details means in this way, data set description. You are going to get in this way. This data set was collected from the northeast of Andhra Pradesh. Okay, this is a where the label output variable is whether the person is having a liver problem or not, whether he is a liver patient or not a liver patient. Actually, this data set consists of 583 records, but for example purpose, I have taken only 10 records. Basically, it is having 583 records that I'm going to give you as an estimate. For learning purpose, we are taking a small amount of data. So you have to write the entire data set and step by step we have to work and the same output. So you have to understand each and everything means easy way means just we are working on the simple data. Now here age means age of the person, gender means gender of the person, TB means total bilirubin. Just they'll take full form only. Now what is meant by total bilirubin? That you have to check on your own. That is the research you have to do. Minimum research you have to do. Okay, sir, how we have to check on your own? Just you have to open the Google. You have to open the Google, and in the Google you have to type direct bilirubin. What is meant by direct bilirubin? Generally in the human body, if the person is not having a liver problem also, generally what would be the value of a direct bilirubin value? Okay, what is the minimum value and what is the maximum value? You have to go through clearly that variable. You have to understand. For example, tomorrow I'm not from basically from healthcare, or I'm not from bioscience, or I'm not from biotechnology, or I'm not from chemical background, or nothing like that. But tomorrow, for example, if I'm working on one of the data set which is related to Dr. Reddy's, assume Dr. Reddy has given us a project for our company. Dr. Reddy is the client, and they have given the project, and the project is related to some biosciences or biotechnology, where here the variables, what are the variables are there? I'm having one of them is as WC, which is also called as waist circumference. The full form is waist circumference. When I'm working on this project first time, I don't know what is meant by waist circumference. Okay, in my life, first time I'm listening that word. Until now, in my entire life, I have never listened to what is meant by waist circumference. When I have worked on that particular project, example Dr. Reddy. Here, Dr. Reddy is not the client. Example only. Okay, don't fix that Dr. Reddy. Okay, some person, some client, they have given us some project where I have seen some kind of word called as WC, waist circumference. Never I have came across waist circumference. Then what I have done? I have to do the research for that. What is meant by waist circumference? And there is one more word called as AT, adipose issue. Adipose tissue. What is meant by adipose tissue? That is also first time I'm listening that word. These words never I came across. So what we have to do? We have to do the research, and we have to understand all these things. Every variable name, you have to understand each and every variable name very clearly. For understanding your variable name only, they'll give you 3 days of time. 3 to 4 days. When you are working in a company, they will give you 3 to 4 days of time for understanding your variable names only. On the day one, for example, today they have given a project. For example, SRK, we have got a project. We have to do this work. Means immediately I'll open my Jupyter notebook and I'll start. No, first 10 days I will not even touch the Jupyter notebook. You know, first 10 days will not even open the Python or any other things. First 10 days only one thing will open is called as Google Chrome. Inside that Google, just will open the Google only. In the Google only we'll type all the things and we'll understand everything. First we have to understand the business problem. What is this business problem? We'll get so many questions in our mind. That questions answers we have to identify on our own. We can't ask sir, doubt sir. We can't raise the hand like this. In the companies we can't do like that. For example, your team leader is going to explain you something about the project. Means you can't say sir, please go slowly, I'm having that doubt. You can't ask like this in the real life, right? You have to write the running notes, and after writing the running notes, whatever you have understand, you have to check after the class. Class means after the meeting. There the meeting. Here the class, there the meeting. After the meeting, we have to check on our own each and every variable name, and what is this project about, and who is going to use this project, where he is going to use, what is the purpose of use, all these things. Everything you have to raise the questions in your mind. You have to get the answers. Every question you have to get the answer. Every person has to do this one commonly, right? This is called as data understanding. We have to understand our data very clearly. For example, I have got a data set where in the data set the words are very high technical words are there. I'm not able to understand. I have checked in the Google, but Google is redirecting to somewhere. Again, there I have checked again, but finally I'm not understanding. At the final concept is not understanding. Simply to say not understanding. I'm not understanding what is the variable name clearly. Then what I'm going to do in the meeting, we are going to discuss the same with our team leaders or with respect to our senior people. That this particular variable we are not able to understand. I have checked in the Google, but still I am not able to understand. We are going to explain. Now these seniors, whoever the seniors in the meeting are there, they are going to help us. They'll explain us about that one. For example, in the real life, what happens is, for example, we are getting a project from the client. The project manager, whatever the project manager is there, he is going to take the project. Now, whatever the project he has taken, and if this project is related to some kind of non-technical domain, and where my team members will not understand, automatically, we are going to hire a new person. We are going to hire a new person called as domain expert. Okay, domain expert. Domain expert means in that particular domain, he is having a technical knowledge. For example, I'm working on the Dr. Reddy's. I'm going to hire a B pharma person, B pharma or biotechnology pharma, that related persons, right? Now, this person, whatever the domain expert is there, the technical name, I mean, with respect to, he's called as domain consultant. Actually, he's called as, role is called as domain consultant. What is meant by domain consultant means he is expert in that particular domain. He will guide us. For understanding the project, he will guide us. He is having a domain expert, I mean, some kind of expertise in that particular domain. Okay, so we are going to hire him, and based on his guidelines, we are going to understand with respect to the data. Right? Sometimes we may not hire, sometimes we require to hire. Right? It depends upon the situation, and depends upon the project. Okay, so many things are there. If you want exactly the scenario, what happens in the company is the exact scenario means first the client is going to approach the company, and in the company he will explain the whatever his requirements are there. The client will explain his requirements, what are the requirements of the project. Now, whatever the requirements are there, these requirements will be taken by the manager. Manager will take all the requirements from the client. He will take the requirements. Once he has taken the requirements, the manager is going to discuss with the architects. Okay, and with the team members, and team members means not with the junior level, only with the high team, and they're going to create a quotation. They'll create a quotation, and this quotation they are going to share to the client. If the client is okay with the quotation and everything, then the project is going to start. Okay, if the client says that this is very high quotation, or with respect to this much of high budget means I'm not okay miss, the project will be dropped. Or if this okay miss, we are going to get the project. Once we get the project, the moment we get the project, this project manager, whatever the project manager, along with the architect means who has designed the entire project from the starting stage to ending stage, who has designed the entire project, these both is going to have some kind of high level meeting. First high level meeting. In this meeting, they are going to select the team leaders. Team leaders and teams. They are going to select the teams. They are going to assign the multiple teams. And this team, you have to work this one. This team, you have to work this one. This team, you have to work this one. For example, team number 1. First team is going to have the data engineer. Means they are going to collect the data from various sources. Their work is to collect the data. Once this was transferred to the data scientist work is to analyze the data. After that, this will be transferred to the software development team. They are going to create the websites. They are going to connect with respect to everything. Okay, these different teams are going to work. If it is a startup company, means everything you have to work. They are not having the budget to keep this many teams and this many members. They can't pay the salaries, means everything we only have to work. If it is MSC company, teams will be there, members will be there. More amount of members will be there. Okay, sir, in the one of the company, they are asking the software developer also, means that company is not having the to keep extra amount for the software developer separately. So that is the reason they are hiring with respect to any data scientist with software developer. Okay, but MNCs will not have like that. MNCs will have data engineers separately, data scientists separately, software development team separately, cloud separately, big data team separately. Each team will be separate. Okay, and just we have to transfer the data. Once this project was completed, means we will get a new project. Immediately we'll get a new project. Next. Okay, just here, whatever we are having with respect to the teams, they are going to set the teams, and that their teams, whatever the teams are there in the teams. Now we are having the team leaders. Okay. Now these team leaders are going to discuss with the juniors in their next meeting. Morning one meeting, evening one meeting. Morning meeting is what is the task you have to do. Evening meeting is how much you have completed. How much percentage of thing was completed. Every day 2 meetings are compulsory. Whether it is offline or online. Online means Zoom meeting, offline means conference meeting. There will be a conference room and meeting will be there. That's it. Meeting is common. Okay. So they'll assign the task for you. Whatever the task is that they are going to assign the task, and they are going to see the status of that. So this will be the process out of which data scientist work will, after getting the data, once we get the data, analyze the data and get the better predictions. That is the work of the data scientist. We have to predict with more accurately, predict with more accuracy. This is our target. Predicting with more accurately is the data scientist work, simply to say. Whatever the things are there, just you have to predict with maximum accuracy. Code, software development, bugs, errors, rectifying, testing, all these are not the works of data scientist. Okay, work of data scientist is to predict with more accurately. Whatever the data they have given and whatever the things they are asking to predict in the future, that we have to predict with more accurate. Where the priority goes with respect to called as predictive analytics. This is called as predictive analytics, right? So now, in order to work with respect to this one, first we have to understand the data very clearly. The data types, once we understand the data types very clearly. Now, so if the data types, what are the data types are there? Continuous and discrete. If both of them are same, for example, instead of this one, assuming that the age, here age column is there, sir. Here age column, whatever the age column is there, this age column, here, this is basically a continuous variable. Instead of continuous variable, you have fixed this one as a discrete count variable. By saying that only int are there, so no decimal values are there, so it is considered as discrete count. You have think in this way, assume. Now, what happens? For continuous variable, we are having continuous variable analysis are different. The analysis and the way of patterns and the graphs, whatever the graphs we are going to use for continuous variables are different. For discrete variable, the graphs, whatever we are going to use are different. Okay. So for continuous variables, if you do means, then it is called as continuous variable analysis. Continuous variable analysis. If you are applying for discrete variable, then it is called as discrete analysis. Okay. Now for this age column, what is the difference? Let us explain in a simple way. Here age column is there. Now let us assume total we are having 1000 records are there. Here only 10 records are there, right? Here there will be no difference. For example, you are having 1000 records are there, out of which age of the persons are there. Let us take this hospital, one hospital like Yashoda. In Hyderabad, we are having Yashoda hospital, right? Let us take some kind of Yashoda hospital where the patients will be there. Some minimum age to maximum age. Old age people will come and engaged people, some whoever having the health issues, they'll come to the hospital. Now, for example, I'm having with respect to different ages. Age with respect to 12 years of age, people will come. 10 years of age, people will come. 14 years, 15 years, 18 years, 20 years, 21 years, 22 years, similar to 90 years. Up to 90 years, different age people will come. For example, if you are considering this age as continuous, if it is continuous, what happens? If the age is considered as discrete, what happens? If you are considering the age as discrete, what happens means, for example, with age of 10, how many patients are there? You have to draw a bar graph like this. Number of people, for example, no need of bar graph means, let us assume like this. With 10, age of 10, how many patients are there? Some number. With age 11, how many patients are there? With age 12, how many patients are there? 13 patients, 14 patients, 15 patients. With age of 80, how many patients are there? With the age of 81, how many patients are there? With the age of 82, how many patients are there? Which each person separately, what type of analysis you can do on that? What type of here, what you will understand from that? From that, what you are going to understand? Now, let us assume the same thing from 10 to 15 or 10 with respect to 10 to 15, 15 to 20, 20 to 25, 25 to 30, 35 to 40. Here we are having with respect to this thing, right? So, or if you are considering from 10 to 30, age of 10 to 30 or 10 to 20, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40. How many people are there between 30 to 40? How many people are there between 40 to 50, 50 to 60? Here, if you are considering this one, you can analyze something and which most of the age group people are getting just generally affected. Okay, during the COVID situation, we are having with respect, many people has affected with the COVID. Okay, some people has rectified in the home only, that whatever the health issue and whatever the COVID issue they are having, it was rectified at the home only. Some people has admitted in the hospital. Now, what is the age most number of people has admitted in the hospital? That you want to analyze. In that case, what we are going to do? The age is considered as a continuous variable and we have to analyze the data. Right? So if you are analyzing like this, you are going to get in a wrong result. You have to analyze in this way. For continuous variable, the analysis are different. For discrete variable, the analysis are different. So that is the reason. Clearly, we have to analyze. Clearly, we have to observe with respect to what type of variable it is. Okay. Clearly, we have to observe what type of variable it is. Now, similarly, in the discrete, within the discrete categorical, nominal and ordinal. Nominal data is there. Ordinal data is there. Right? For example, instead of nominal, if you feel ordinal, or if instead of ordinal, if you feel nominal, oppositely you are thinking, then what happens means, here, after doing the analysis, we are going to share this one to the machine. When we are going to share this one to the machine, this, whatever the text data is there, this text data has to be converted to numerical format. Text data, whatever the text is there, text should be converted to numerical, which is called as encoding. The concept name is called as encoding. Okay. Why we have to convert? Because machine will not understand text data. Machine will understand only numerical data. So 100% you have to convert the text to numerical. So for nominal data, we have to do the nominal encoding. For ordinal data, we have to do ordinal encoding. Then only the machine will properly understand. Otherwise, in an opposite way, it will understand and will get the less accuracy as the output. So proper understanding of the data is more important for doing the analysis and for doing the predictions in the future, right? Is that clear? So now in today's class, we have done with respect to how to load a data. Within that, we have seen the shape. Within that, we have seen with respect to size, next columns, and majorly we have focused on the dtypes. Now, whatever these are there, everything you can get in a single line of code called as df.info. Everything, all these things you'll get in a single shot by using df.info. In the df.info, you can see the column names. Whatever the column names are there, you can see all the column names here. And second one is shape. Columns. This is the shape. 10 entries means records. Records of 10, columns of 6 columns. And dtypes, what are the dtypes is that? Dtypes, everything, whatever these 4 are there, everything you can get in terms of by using info. Okay, so in the real life, first we are going to load the data. After that, df.head function, we are going to see whether we have loaded a correct data or not, followed by df.info. Directly, we are going to check the info. Simple. In the info, we'll understand the data set, not the data. Data set we'll understand. This data set consists of 10 records with 6 columns, and these are the 6 column names. Out of which these are the dtypes. What are the dtypes we are having? These are the data types of each of them, and we have to understand age. What is meant by age? Clearly, we have to understand each variable, right? And how many with respect to float type are there? Float type 3 variables are there. Int type 1 variable is there. Object type 2 variables are there, right? Now here there is one more called as non-null. Non-null means whether it is having null or how many non-null objects are there. How many total 10 records are there? Out of 10, 10 of them are non-null. Means how many null are there? Then 0. This one also 10 non-null. 10 non-null means 0 null. 10 non-null, 0. 10 non-null, again 0. 8 non-null. Then what is the meaning of that? 2 records of null are there. Sir, are we going to do like this? We are going to check a no. Just we can ask in terms of like this. Next one is you are going to write df dot is null. Whenever you are using is, what is the output? True or false. So it is going to give you the true or false. If you observe this one, true or false. Wherever the null objects are there, it is going to represent with respect to true. This one and this one. Wherever it is null, is null means are you null? It is checking whether it is a null. If it is null means it is printing as true. If it is not null means false. If you observe here in the original data set, whatever the original data set, I am having 2 missing values. That too in the TP column. Now, what happens here? It is null means it is going to check like this. Now, I am going to use dot sum. Dot sum. DF means data frame. Generally, data frame is based on the column wise. It is not focusing row wise. NumPy is row wise. Pandas is column wise. Now here sum means it is going to do with respect to column wise sum. So first plus sum is plus. False plus false plus false plus false. Now what is meant by false plus false? Automatically, whenever there is arithmetic operator, Boolean operator will be converted to with respect to int. So 0 plus 0 plus 0, 0, 0. So total is 0. Now this one also 0. This one also 0. Next, if you go with this one, you are going to have, okay, this one also with 0. Now here 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. Plus, you are using plus. So whenever it is plus, total is 2. 2 missing values are there in this particular column. So it is going to print in this way. Directly, it is going to give me in which column, how many missing values are there. And according to that, I'm going to do the cleaning. In the next, I'm going to do the cleaning. This is check. This is called a check. Whatever you are writing, this code is to check whether the missing values are available in your data set or not. Check for missing values. This code is related to check for missing values. Check for missing values. Okay. So df.isNull.sum. Okay. Is that clear, guys? So in this way, we can check whether there are null missing values are there or not. So isNull is important. At the same time, when dot sum is, the booleans will be converted to int type. that whatever we have discussed in the core Python, now it is having the application. Is that clear? Now, so this is end of the session for today. And tomorrow we are going to discuss with respect to how to access the data from the data frame. Okay.